Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. I am your guest host, Art Connor, sitting in for Kathy Miller. Our guest on this segment is Melissa Adderley, who is the founder of Women's Haven. We're excited to learn about her journey, what Women's Haven stands for, and what makes their products special. And you may have heard Melissa on For the Record, we're on as well.
Yes.
And she was talking about intellectual property
Yes.
and, trademarking and things of that nature. So she has become no stranger to Radio Cayman. So, Melissa, good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, OC, for having me back. It's a pleasure. Good morning, Cayman.
And we want to hear the story behind the creation of Women's Haven, as well as your mission and objectives. And before you answer it, I want to say, I've known you for some time now. There was a time when we saw each other at least two times per week.
Yes.
You're extremely ambitious young lady.
Thank you.
Well-rounded.
Thank you.
Also, you have seen many facets of business in the Cayman Islands, either, working for someone, but now more as an entrepreneur yourself. So tell us about your story.
Yes, thank you very much, OC. And again, good morning, Cayman. So a little bit behind the creation of Women's Haven. So Women's Haven started as a personal journey for myself. Those who went to school with me would have known I wanted to be a teacher. In my yearbook, they voted me the next principal at John Gray High School.
Wow.
And those who graduated with me would all remember that. And we can check our yearbook. So I never would have really thought that I would have been an entrepreneur in the sense of selling feminine care products. But it all started from a personal journey of mine, where I was usually very uncomfortable during my time of the month. And I used to always wonder if it was just me or what's happening, but it's a taboo topic, amongst women and girls. So we don't talk about those things even with parents, and we don't share if we're irritated, and we just think it's normal and we deal with it. So I dealt with that for many years, and then I came across the concept one day of organic pads. And when I came across the concept, I thought, honestly, it was a marketing gimmick. Everybody throw organic, natural, this and that. What do you mean by organic pads? So what are we using now if it's not organic? Why do you have to be so specific with this organic? So I'm it make me start to think, what are we using now? What is in what we're using now? So I was I don't really believe in this. I gave it 6 months. Of course, I was still experiencing what I was experiencing. I was I might as well just give whatever this thing is a try to see if it really makes a difference in my life. And surprisingly, it changed my life. I was I cannot believe something as simple as my sanitary napkins that I wear that I would have thought would have been healthy for me and safe to use is not. And I was wow, this is crazy. So I started, a friend of mine, my husband, I met her through my husband. She's actually now the executive distributor for Bahamas. Her name is Meredith Evans. She reached out to me when she saw me starting to advertise. I made an Instagram page and stuff because I started to get a lot of questions from fellow females when I used to be you using these kind of pads? You ever felt irritated? And you'd be yeah, and then we'll start to talk, and then the word spread. I created a page, and then she saw me, advertising it, and she was how are you getting these products in the Caribbean? Because it's very, very expensive to bring organic products here, and the kind of products that we were bringing into Cayman and to the Caribbean. So I was girl, let me hook you up. So we started to partner together, and then I started to help her get products into the Bahamas. And then from there, we realized it was a little epidemic amongst women across the world, but it was silent. No one really knew about it. So I was let me try to see if we can spread our rings across the entire Caribbean. And we did. We made out some posts on social media, and we had people reach out to us. And now we're in 10 different countries across the region, selling over 20 different products.
And you've basically done this on your own, because we see and I'll use the United States as an example, where you have various organizations that help women
Yes.
entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Some may be designed for a specific ethnic group, or some may be designed for a specific economic group, but the assistance
Yes.
is there.
Yes.
You were able to accomplish all of that without anything like
Yes.
that behind you.
Yes, it was. I know one of our questions coming up is about the challenges, so I tried to save that aspect of my explaining the creation of Women Saving.
We can save that for
Today,
later.
if you want me to talk about it now, I can.
Yes, yes.
But so a lot of the challenges, like you said, like there's really no support. I had to do this all on my own, myself and my husband. We're the sole owners of the Women's Haven brand. We don't have any investors, no partners, no nothing like that. So it was very, very difficult. You know, unfortunately, Cayman doesn't offer grants and stuff like that to small businesses, entrepreneurs who they see that could be a potential success. We don't have those type of things here in Cayman. You have to go through a bank, get collateral, everything as usual. So it's extremely difficult. I never had that opportunity. So I had to really save and use all my savings and the money that I live by on a day-to-day to be able to start this business. And it's not easy having to live off the business that you're actually creating, you know. So and with that being said, it's hard to also have a job and try to run this type of business as well, because you can't really split your time if you want your business to be as effective as possible. Otherwise you're going to have to pay employees, and all your money going to have to go to paying an employee. So there were a lot of challenges in that aspect, but you know, I did my best. Sometimes I really don't even know how I really made it, you know, when I stopped to think about it. Even when manufacturing the products, like when we started off, we were carrying a different brand. And when we was bringing the brand into the country, there were a lot fewer quantity per pack. So I reached out to the brand and I was like, you know, will you be willing to work along with us to create a brand specifically for the Caribbean? And unfortunately, they didn't see what I saw. They didn't really believe, I guess, you know, a girl from the Caribbean who looked like me. Like, who you think you is? You know, no Vogue, you know, no Fortune 500, you know, no Times Magazine. Like,
No
we don't know who
Ebony.
you is. You know, who are you? I'm like, all right, well, you know, whatever. I'm not going to give up because you don't see my potential. I know, I see my vision, you know. So then I just stick to my path. I started to do a lot of research. I spent over a year researching how to manufacture products, trying to find a manufacturer, went through all of that until I finally found a manufacturer. And then another stumbling block came where there was like, you have to have a certain MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity.
Okay, yeah.
And like that's in the hundreds of thousands when you're purchasing sanitary napkins. You can't just go buy a thing like that, because ours is completely custom made. It's not another brand's pad that we just take and put in a different
labels,
packaging.
yes, yeah.
And so that's easy to do if you're going to be doing pads like that. But if you're manufacturing from scratch, like every single layer I know of, I manufacture, I source. When it comes to that, you have to purchase a minimum order quantity. So there was like, again, they don't know who I am, who are you, trying to start this brand in the Caribbean region, whatnot. And they told me no, they wouldn't work with me, you know. And I was like, you know, I didn't take it as a discouragement. I just said, you know what, if you really want to do this, you're going to keep going, you know. So I never gave up. I kept in touch with them, and eventually they gave me a chance. And here we are today with Women's Haven.
Excellent. And so the first product that you developed, let's talk about that.
Well, the first...
And we want to tell our audience also that you have many of your products right here
displayed
on
here.
display as well.
These are our most popular products.
And if you want to go through them individually at some point in time during the show, please feel free to do that as well.
Yes. So you asked about the first product that we manufactured. So the first one we actually did was one called Yoni Detox Pearls, which is not here. It's a detox it's an organic, holistic detox for females. And the reason why we started with that one, because we wanted to start with the pads, but as I alluded to before, they weren't giving me the chance to do so. So I had as a wait process for me to start the sanitary napkins. So we started off with the Yoni Detox Pearls. Then after that, we went into the liners, the 30, these ones here. we manufactured this size first of the sanitary napkins, and then we went on to do we have 6 sizes of the sanitary napkins. We have over 22 products. We have the wash, the oil, teas, menstrual cups as well. Lots of women are curious about the menstrual cup, because the menstrual cup is a replacement, what you could say, for a tampon.
Okay.
A tampon would absorb the fluids. A menstrual cup would collect the fluids. And it's reusable for up for 5 years as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we want you to also talk about where your products can be purchased, both locally and internationally. You spoke about, the Bahamas, and then you spoke about other Caribbean countries as well. Let's talk a little bit about those.
Sure, no problem.
Countries.
So locally here in Cayman, you can purchase the Women's Haven products, or all these products displayed here, as well as more, at all Foster's locations. Big up to Foster's. They were the first retail supermarket here in Cayman to give me that opportunity to put my products on their shelves. So a real big shout out to Foster's. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate you giving me that footstep into the door, because it was actually the first supermarket in the entire Caribbean to carry the Women's Haven brand. So I'm very proud of that. So you can find it at all 4 Foster's locations. That's Countryside, Airport, Cayman Bay, and Republics. You can also find them at Kirk Market as well. You can also find them at Rochelle's Beauty Supply. And as our newest location is now at Macros. So you can also purchase there as well here in Cayman. We're also in 70 other stores across 9 other Caribbean countries. So we're in the Bahamas in several stores there. We're in Jamaica. We're in Barbados. We're in Guyana, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Montserrat. We're in 9 other countries, and we're in major supermarkets and pharmacies there. You can go on our website, womenshaven.com/locations. We have a map there where you can go and view the different locations of the different stores across the Caribbean region. We're also sold online on Amazon. We're Amazon brand certified as well. So you can find us on Amazon as well. You can order online on our website. We can do local delivery across the Caribbean countries if you want, or pick up. And we also ship to the United States and Canada addresses as well.
Talk a little about the Amazon certification, because I know when we were talking about intellectual property, you spoke about, all of the hoops that you had to, jump through to ensure that you satisfy the requirements for Amazon. Talk a little bit about
Amazon is quite interesting. I know a lot of Caymanians are eager to have their products on Amazon. Unfortunately, Cayman is not an Amazon registered country in a sense where you can actually sell your products on Amazon. But what I had to go through was I had to create a U.S. company to be able to help me with my registration on Amazon through my Cayman company here as well. So with that process, to be a brand certified, where you have control over your brand on Amazon. So anyone can upload products and say they're selling it, but I will have control. You can't just do what everyone do with anything uploaded for Women's Haven, because I control the brand. And for that process, you have to have a trademark in a registered country. Unfortunately, trademarks in Cayman are not recognized on Amazon at this time. Hopefully that's something that Cayman can work on. But you can seek trademarks in Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That's a good one for Caymanians to be able to try to attain. They do recognize ones like Trinidad and stuff like that as well. So you would need to get a trademark to have an official registered brand on Amazon, and then you'll be able to have access to be able to sell and do business there.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to see if there are any surprises coming from Women's Haven as well. Any new upcoming products, any new launches? We're going to hear that from Miss Melissa Adderley, who is the founder and owner of Women's Haven. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Business Buzz will be back shortly. Wait a minute, Susan isn't there, so... Okay, folks, we're going to continue. I may have gotten the timing wrong on that. Okay, we're going to Miss Susan for the commercial break. Please stay tuned.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. My name is Art Connor and I'm your guest host filling in for Miss Kathy Miller. Our guest in the studio is Miss Melissa Adderley, who's the founder of Women's Haven. We're hearing about all of her exciting products for women here in the Cayman Islands as well. And some of you will say, Adderley? That doesn't sound like that. That don't sound like a Cayman. No. That's a Bahamian. That's a Bahamian name.
Yes.
And Miss Melissa, also you spoke about in your yearbook and in your class, everyone.
Yes.
You wanted to be a teacher, and everyone predicted you would be a principal. I know that you do homeschooling for your kids as well. And while that isn't the topic today. If we do get a chance, we want you to talk about that as well. We also want to talk about the experience that you had when you found that someone had actually copied your product and your labeling.
Yes.
And obviously they must have seen some potential in it, why they would want to do that. Let me talk a little bit about that as well, and the importance of trademarking and everything. So is there anything in the pipeline in terms of new launches and new products or anything?
Well, we actually just launched our thong liners. For any ladies who are thong lovers, we have our newest launch thong liners. We also have newly launched a new packaging for our wipes as well. So it's a travel size. And we also have a sanitary napkin dispenser that we're launching. That's our newest technology that we're bringing online. So basically it's a dispenser where we can put it around schools and offices and government buildings, airports, wherever deemed necessary, that will give young girls and ladies easy access to organic sanitary napkins, which I feel is essential to the health and well-being of all women. And why I say it's important is because traditional sanitary products are known to have toxic chemicals in it. You can research it. Just Google what's in my pads. Or traditional pads dangerous or traditional pads toxic. We Google everything. Just Google your pads. We've never actually done it, so just try it one day and you'll actually be very surprised at the research that you'll find on the dangers of using traditional sanitary pads, and why it's important to use organic sanitary pads, because a lot of women experience itching, heavy bleeding, long bleeding, and all these type of things like that. And it's because most of the time it's your pads, and you'll be so surprised at the difference that it would make. For me, myself, and a personal journey that I had, I used to have a very long period for about 7 days, and then when I switched to organic, it changed to about 3 days, and I was like, wow, like I never would have thought. And there's tons of other women who give me lots of reviews and feedback, and it's also the same for them as well. So having access to organic sanitary napkins, especially from a young age, girls from as young as 9 years old in primary school are starting to have their menstruation. We need to make sure that we're giving them access to organic products from the beginning to avoid all the adverse effects that tend to happen to women of color, people in the Caribbean. The medical statistics shows that we are the most prevalent for vaginal infections and all these vaginal illnesses that are around the world. So start off on organic, helping our young girls to maintain themselves, improve their well-being, would avoid the long-term adverse effects that would come along with it. So that's where we're launching the dispensers, and we're hoping to be able to get sponsors to be able to sponsor the vending machine so that it can be free for all the ladies. And then we'll put a sign on the vending machine to let them know who's sponsoring the machine, how it's becoming, why it's free, to give the sponsor credibility and acknowledgement as well too. So if any sponsors are interested in sponsoring our first, sanitary napkin dispenser at any particular school or somewhere where young girls or ladies need sanitary napkins, I'm happy to be able to work along with them.
Excellent. Now, let's talk about quality assurance.
Yes.
And we know that, when it comes to labeling, there are standards, and then there are standards.
Oh, yeah.
So some may say it's organic, and
like
it only satisfies the minimum requirement as far as organic. Let's talk about your product.
Yeah, so for myself, especially my sanitary napkins and things that are going, down there that can, affect you, they're all certified and tested. So there's testing certification centers called like Intertech and SGS, those who are in the tech textile industry, they will understand. You can just Google SGS, you can Google Intertech, and those are the international testing facilities where you can send your products to be tested and certified, so that you can ensure that it's, remaining sustainable, it's organic and all that stuff. And all my products go through that certification process.
Now, we know that you're extremely proud, of your accomplishments and the products, and you stand by your products. Is there any particular, product or venture that stands out in terms of what you've done so far?
What stands out to me, the pads are definitely my close and dear to my heart. But what stands out to me in what I've accomplished so far with Women's Haven is the impact that I've had on women's lives across the Caribbean. Like, I get messages, like thousands, hundreds of messages from women all across the Caribbean. I don't even know these people.
Wow.
And they tell me their stories. I mean, they be looking for me, like the distributors, they're like, whoever created this product, thank them so much. And they'll forward me the messages, and like, I'm not doing this for fame and all that kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with that. It was a personal journey for myself. I have 2 daughters, and I want to make sure my daughters have access to organic products. So by all means, the testing got to be legit. Everything got to be legit, because one of my daughters use my pads now. So, that kind of way. So it makes me feel very good to know that I have a positive impact on the lives of women across the Caribbean, because women go through a lot. And we hide our feelings a lot, especially on the time of month. We have to mask our feelings. So if I can help women feel just a little bit better, they can just forget that they're even having it right now. It helps a lot. So I like the impact.
And that you've touched right there on the whole issue of ethical sourcing and profitability. Yes. And you spoke earlier, about these machines.
Yes.
And, getting a sponsor,
yes.
For those, and then providing those products for free as well, which
yes.
again points to the fact that you're not in this just for it to be profitable.
No, if that was the case, I wouldn't make it, because you wouldn't be able to sell the pads. Like, the price that I sell my pads for is minimal. If you compare us to any other organic brand, you're gonna be like, how you getting this in Cayman for this price? You know what I mean? So it's nothing about that. Like I said, I have a daughter who uses these products. So you don't think I want my child to be safe? Like, I'm a mom. All moms don't mess with my children. So I'm going to make sure that my child is safe out of all means. So for sure that the products is going to be legit.
And so how do you achieve that to make it affordable, and at the same time still survive?
Yeah, you see, not having an extra middleman is the biggest thing. Every middleman adds a cost on.
Yes.
And because I am the sole owner, I don't have to answer to a board of directors who telling me every single year, you need to increase your profits. You need to increase your profits. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. But I hope to achieve that with the volume. When people believe in me, they trust the brand, they trust Women's Haven, and I have the volume of people purchasing from me, I will be able to make it. So it's not about trying to get rich quick. It's nothing about that. This is our health and well-being that we're talking about. You can't play with that kind of stuff. As I said, I have a daughter. I want her to be able to afford these products when she gets older as well too. I have to purchase the products as well too. I have to be able to survive, and I want to make sure that I'm able to make enough money where if I have enough volume, I don't got nothing to worry about. So having the support across the Caribbean and in Cayman, if I can have all Caymanians supporting me using the brand, like if you can see, even if anyone's been watching the price of the Women's Haven products on shelves here in Cayman, it's cheaper than when it first started off.
Wow.
I went down on price because when COVID happened, I helped to push for the exemption and duty on sanitary napkins, baby products. It was me that was behind that, initiative and getting the government to make that change.
They were way behind. Even though Europe, some places in Europe,
been had that going a long time.
Yeah. The UK was a little bit behind as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I was behind that and making sure that was done as well.
Excellent.
So, and that benefited me. So I passed that down to the customers. So I went down on price in pandemic when that happened, going down on price when everyone else went up on price. So you can go in the shelves, you can look at Foster's store's price in history. It used to be like $6, then it went down to $5. Now it's $4.89 on Foster's shelves for the sanitary napkins.
Again, that touches on navigating the competition.
Exactly.
But are there many competitive products here in the Cayman Islands when it comes to the organic?
Not many
pads?
organic in the sense of the quality and the type of organic products
Okay.
that I have. Mine is exceptionally different from majority, if not all. Like none compares to mine on the shelf. There are other organic brands there, but you put my features out on my products, you lay their features out in their products. It doesn't compare to Women's Haven, but there are other organic options on the shelves there. Usual typical organic ones that you would find, like, that's been around saying that they're natural, but then people are saying, I don't think this, whatever. Those back in the days, the labeled ones, where I thought when I first heard this concept of organic, I thought it was one of those concepts of just labeling organic, but not really. But there are other companies that are, are out there. They're not in Cayman. But there are others here in Cayman and in some countries across the Caribbean that are trying to also do organic pads as well too, which is great. It will be great if we have all organic options. Like there's multiple bread brands on the bread aisle, and they all sell, right? So
Now, as far as your company is concerned, and you mentioned the very other countries throughout the Caribbean, is your distribution done from the Cayman Islands to those other jurisdictions? How does it work?
Okay,
This is your headquarter?
yeah, Cayman is the headquarters, but my warehouse and my distribution center is in Florida.
Oh, okay.
It would be very nice if we had inter-Caribbean shipping, which doesn't exist.
Yes,
It's
yes.
a huge challenge. That's one of my challenges as well when it comes to expanding the business. And people are like, how are you getting all these Caribbean countries that we can't even ship from? Then we got to go to the United. Like, yeah, it's very difficult. And that's why I have distributors across the region. So I license my brand across these Caribbean countries, and I have persons on the ground in those countries. So what they do, they have freight forwarders, just like how we need to have a freight forwarder. They all have freight forwarders, and they're all addresses are in Florida. So my warehouse is in Florida, and I have my distribution center deliver to their warehouses in Florida, and then that goes to them in their respective Caribbean countries, and that's how we get it distributed across.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, we're going to talk about the educational initiatives that have been undertaken by your company as well. And then while we're there, we can talk about homeschooling.
Yes, no problem.
As well. Folks, don't change that dial. The conversation with Miss Melissa Adderley will continue as soon as we return from this commercial break. Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. I'm your guest, Art Connor. I'm guest hosting for Miss Kathy Miller. Our guest in the studio is Miss Melissa Adderley, who's the founder of Women's Haven. We have heard so much about the products that are designed and marketed by Women's Haven. We've heard about the vision of the founder and owner of Women's Haven, Miss Melissa Adderley, and also about some of the civic initiatives that she's undertaken, simply because she's not only in the business for profit, but also in terms of making a difference in women's lives as well. So we're going to talk about some of the educational initiatives that her company has launched as well, and I'm going to ask her to delve a little bit into homeschooling also.
Interesting topic. Lots of people are interested in homeschooling, so if you're listening out there, tuned in, waiting. Some of the educational initiatives that we have embarked on, I mean, from the onset of Women's Haven, it started from an educational mission, like having to let women be aware of there's a difference between traditional pads and organic pads was an educational journey within itself. helping Women's Haven to reach where we are today. Because I haven't gone to no media and all this stuff. It was solely just social media, educational campaign on letting women know the difference between, traditional and organic, and why it's important to make the switch to organic. So we've done a lot of educational campaigns on social media. Women have learned a lot of things they didn't know about their bodies. From our pages, we have over nearly 200,000 followers on social media now across our different platforms. We have also went into the Francis Bawden Girls' Home here in Cayman.
Okay.
I've met with the girls there, talked to them about the importance of organic pads. I've donated and left pads with them as well. We have also donated to the Ramsey Home for Children in the Bahamas. Gone there, Meredith Evans, who's the executive distributor and co-founder of Women's Haven as well. She has done various initiatives there as well. I visited the Bahamas earlier this year. I also accompanied her to the Ramsey Home for Children as well, where we did some demonstration for the girls and putting sanitary napkins on the underwear and the importance of organic pads, going through the menstrual cup and so on and so forth. And she has also donated to the Ramsey Home for Children for the girls there in the Bahamas as well. We've also worked with the Montserrat Youth Parliament as well in Montserrat, giving them products as well, educational campaign for them as well. We've worked with the Central Bank of Barbados, did some educational campaigns there as well too, and as well as the Georgetown Public Hospital in Guyana. We have donated to all their maternity wards there and educated all the women, the new moms, of going organic and being able to use organic pads. So it's all about education for us. We have to let women know the importance. It's a different concept. Change is not easily adaptable here in the Caribbean. We're very adverse to change. So you have to let people know why. And that's what separates Women's Haven, because we're not just trying to push a product. We're telling you why. We're explaining to you why with evidence, with proof. You can do your research and see it. So it's all about, raising the awareness. As a part of our mission and goals is to raise the awareness of the dangers of toxic traditional sanitary products and why it's important to make the switch to organic.
And mentioning Guyana, Guyana is a huge market now, and of course, the discovery and exploration of oil has made a huge difference in the lives of many. And of course, they have so many women who live in the hinterland, in Guyana as well, and they have their native cultures there and everything else. So getting to them is important as well.
Yes, we
so
have an amazing team
it's
there.
an opportunity, but it's probably a challenge as well.
Yes, we have an amazing team there on the ground who, they're Guyanese, and they run our operation as executive distributors, a husband and wife team, Lexan and Theon. So big ups to them if they're listening. I know they're listening in Guyana. So they are a strong team in Guyana, and they have a lot of reach, and, they're doing great things across the region. I'm proud of them.
Okay, tell us about your personal family and homeschooling.
Yeah, well, I am a mom of 4. For those who don't know, I am a homeschooling mom of 4. My eldest is 13. He just turned 13. I know they're probably listening. There's Haziah, Maya, Mariah, and Hezekiah. Those are my children. My eldest is 13. He attends Liberty University Online Academy.
Okay.
It's just a homeschooling school. He is very intelligent. He is accomplished and completed 2 Harvard University courses. He is a game developer. He's very good at programming. He also accomplished a course from the University of Michigan as well. So he's on the course of completing his high school diploma and associate's degree simultaneously once he completes high school. My other 3 are also in homeschooling as well. We all do an online program. Homeschooling has been a great benefit to our family. I know a lot of people wonder, how you can manage doing all of that. I don't actually teach them myself. They have an online homeschooling program that they go online on every morning, and I teach them to be responsible and accountable. For my children, I think that for me, I feel a lot of adults don't really know their purpose. And for me as a mom, I want to make sure that my children know their purpose in life, and I be able to help them, give them the resources to attain whatever they would like to do. And they're able to excel in homeschooling, and I'm very proud of them. I ask them all the time, you want to go back to school? Be like, no, mommy, I love homeschool. I say, but you got to make sure you stay responsible. It's not always easy. Sometimes, kids, they want to play, but for the most part, my children are very responsible. They know every time they wake up in the morning, their tasks, their chores, their homeschooling and stuff like that.
What made you decide to homeschool?
I have my master's in organizational learning and leadership from the School of Education. I've always wanted to be a teacher, as I alluded to from my so like teaching my kids has always been a dream to me, and being able to have more hands-on in their education. I don't necessarily feel like you'll get that fully hands-on experience with them at school, because at school it's one thing, and then at home it's one thing. Because my oldest three used to go to school, so I had that school experience, but then I pulled them out. And COVID was my red one, was the last straw for me. I was like, you know what, let me make this decision. And I want them to be able to have a chance to do things differently and have a foothold in their education. I feel that with homeschooling, I know my children so well. I can know what they think before they even do it. I understand them completely. I feel that it's a huge benefit to our family.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know that you don't see yourself, your company, Women's Haven, and the products being in competition with other brands, because once you stand out and you have that mission, and your journey is mission specific, then you don't really see yourself, in competition,
Correct.
With other companies.
Correct.
And I know that you feel that's
so
the way
they
you
said,
feel.
like you said, there's pen and breads on the bread aisle. There's tons of different bread brands, bread types. They all seem to sell somehow, because they all specialize in what they specialize in. I focus on raising the awareness, bringing the organic, concept, making sure that I keep the product sustainable, safe. It's all about love. Women's Haven is literally a haven for women, and it's making you feel really comfortable about your life.
Okay, let's quickly talk about some of the important lessons that you have learned so far while being in business. And then I want you to, if you have any advice that you want to impart to any budding or persons wanting to be entrepreneurs as well, and then give a final push to the products that you provide at Women's
No problem.
Haven.
So the most important lessons for me, I would say, is my mentality and consistency. I know we hear it a lot. I used to hear it a lot from business owners, like consistency, mentality. It's really true. Because there's a lot of times you're going to feel like, why am I even doing this? Like, what's the point? Like, I don't feel like I get nothing, no traction today. No one's getting anything. I'm not making it anywhere. I don't feel it. I don't have the money coming in to equate to what I'm doing. Because I still feel like I'm still a small business in my mind. I'm not filthy rich. I wish I was on that level. I would have been wild, be happy. I'm not. I'm a regular person like everyone else. I just own a business. I don't make that kind of money yet, hopefully. But I feel how I've gotten to where I am right now, it's solely consistency in my mentality. And I feel that once you have the vision and you have the drive and you are consistent, like every day, this has to be your mission, just like your job. Every day, it's a mission for you to get up, drive in traffic, and go to your job, whether you want to do it or not. Whether you think you accomplished something to the day or not, whether there's anything to do at work today or not, you gotta go. It's the same kind of concept you have to have for yourself. It's harder when you have to force yourself to do it. It's easier when you're forced by someone because they're paying you to do it, right? So with that comes with your mentality. Once you have to adjust your mentality to realize this is what I want to do with my life, I have to treat it like as if it's a job. Yeah. Be consistent, be focused, be determined, and no matter what comes your way, just like a job, you thug it out, you make it through, and you do what you have to do.
Okay, let's talk about the products. And,
Yes.
the
So,
different types of products that you offer.
so I offer a range of organic sanitary napkins. So we offer thong liners, extra long liners. So that's the three sizes of the liners. We also offer pads, which is regular pads, heavy pads, extra heavy pads. This is, if you can see me, this is an example of the extra heavy pad. And what makes our pads exceptional, first of all, our packaging is resealable, so you can just open it, take out your pad, put it, use it, seal it back. You don't have to tear apart your packaging and throw it all out like what we usually have to do with all the other brands. So that's an exception right there. And this is the extra heavy pad. So a lot of women, this is overnight postpartum. So as you can see, if you're watching, it's completely sealed. Usually pads are like open up and like if you put them in your bag, things can get inside it and stuff like that. Ours is completely sealed. Then you can see it like this, and it's really soft. If you're here, you could feel it. We have 3D leak protection guards so you don't leak. We have wings. We have a graphene strip as well, which helps to inhibit about 98% of bacteria, so you're not like reinfecting yourself when you put on your pad. It's very thin, super absorbent, and absorbs up to 300 times its size in liquid. We also have a wash and an oil, which women love as well, that they could use. We have wipes. We have the menstrual cup. A lot of women are curious about the menstrual cup and how to use it, how does it work, and all that good stuff. It's quite straightforward for those who are used to it, but basically it's made out of medical grade silicone.
Okay.
And you just fold it to insert it, and it's reusable for up to 5 years. You just boil it to sanitize it and all that good stuff. And you just can fold it, and you just insert it, and it opens up, and it just seals. You just twist it around to seal it, and it collects the fluid. You just pinch the bottom to remove it, and you empty it, and you reinsert it. And this is a substitute for the tampons as well. And we also have tampons as well, too, and a number of other products. They can visit our website to see all of this information and more.
Okay, and we're going to squeeze one more thing in very quickly. The importance of ensuring that you protect your product, your identity, intellectual property. Yes.
Yes, I know a lot of us as entrepreneurs, when we start like a business, the last thing on our mind is intellectual property. Sometimes you don't even think that you need to get it, or you're not at that level, or who is you to have intellectual property. You just think of a big brands that have that. No, everyone needs to protect their intellectual property. For myself, even though I'm in Cayman, you would think, oh, you're in Cayman, no one's going to infringe on your intellectual property, know who you are, whatever. That's not necessarily the case. You know how it is in the Caribbean. Pirates. So I've had, a person up in an individual brand infringe on my intellectual property by taking my mission and vision words, which is at the back here, and putting it on there. Basically, changed up a few things and putting it on their packaging. When I discovered it, I had to get my lawyers involved, do a cease and desist and all that kind of stuff. So just to say that, not because you're in a small country and you think people know who you are, they won't try. They will try. And I think as entrepreneurs, we need to make sure that if we're trying to create something unique, that you need to have trademarks, a patent, or something like that. Seek to get it, because you never really know what can happen. You never really know where it will take you in life, because someone can see your idea, like it, go to another whole place and be like, oh my God, I went and got this from Cayman using your product. But then that's another thing that a lot of people don't take into account, was that if your products have access to other jurisdictions, they think getting a trademark in Cayman protects you in the whole world. No, it doesn't protect you in the whole world. You have to get trademarks in each country that you have exposure to. That's why we have trademarks in over 6 different countries to help us and more.
Okay, folks, we've been speaking with Miss Melissa Adderley, the founder of Women's Haven. We want to thank you, Miss Melissa, for stopping by. We're encouraging our listening audience to join us next time on Radio Cayman's Business Buzz as we continue to chat with more inspiring entrepreneurs. Thanks to our sponsors, Cayman Insurance Center and Kirk Market. I'm Orit Connor, filling in for Miss Kathy Miller. Sorry, 100% math. is another sponsor. 100% Math, another sponsor as well. So Cayman Insurance Centre, Kirk Market, 100% Math. Folks, I'm going to pass the mic back over to Miss Susan Watson. Thank you all for listening. Please stay safe and have a great